Welcome everybody to a look at a standard edition release from Screenbound. Now, they don't do a lot of films, unfortunately, and they certainly don't do much in the way of limited edition releases, but I figured this one was well worth talking about, and it is 1964's Circus World. So this is directed by Henry Hathaway, who I've seen seven other films from. He did the really good films Rawhide and Nevada Smith, but Spawn of the North, The Sons of Katie Elder, and Kiss of Death are also fairly solid. This is a Western drama, clocking in at 132 minutes long. Yeah, stars the likes of John Wayne, who I've seen in 15 other films, favourites being the likes of Rio Bravo and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, as well as Claudia Cardinale, who unfortunately passed away late last year, but she has an amazing body of work that I've seen so far, likes of Once Upon a Time in the West, Fitzcarraldo, The Professionals, The Iron Prefect, Goodbye and Amen, and The Day of the Owl. So this is one of a few English language films that I've seen from her. Also stars Rita Hayworth, who was in Affair in Trinidad, Gilda, and The Lady from Shanghai. And then you've got supporting roles from the likes of Lloyd Nolan and Richard Conte. So, Circus owner Matt Masters is beset by disasters as he attempts a European tour of his circus. At the same time, he's caught in an emotional bind between his adopted daughter and her mother. So, aside from some predictability, a slightly excessive running time, and a somewhat stodgy second act, this is a predominantly engaging and entertaining effort. This is thanks to the good cast, solid production value, the first and final acts are well paced, the score is well done, the cinematography is on point, and the character interactions are decent. Best of all, though, are the set pieces, with the opening circus act being great. So, that's really a wow pow kind of moment. It's really just to get you into the mood of the film and get you engaged right from the off. So there's a really good stagecoach scene where John Wayne is stood on top of a stagecoach that is being hurtled around by several horses around the circus tent, and he's shooting out objects that some other members of the act are holding up in the air, and that is really fun. There's also some really rather inventive stunts as well in terms of the horses as well. When the stagecoach is being chased by several horses that are ridden by bandits. So yeah, that all is really good. And then one of the disasters that Matt Masters has to deal with is that when he arrives in Barcelona, his ship that he's on with all of his animals and crew and such capsizes. Now, it's not got all of the animals still on it at the time. There's only a couple of tigers on it. I think one which is a baby and one which is its mother or father. But yeah, that scene is absolutely spectacular. It really feels like the ending scene to a much smaller film. But this is within the first 20 minutes. So that is really spectacularly done. And yeah, looks like a lot of the money inevitably went into that scene because there's a lot of extras. The ship capsizes over, like I said. People fall in the water. Lifeboats are falling off. And then ultimately, what really sets back the circus itself is the fact that the ship ends up exploding partially at the front, and that destroys the tent that they have. So, a lot of this film is leading up to them eventually getting that tent that costs obviously quite a lot to buy. And as a result of this new act that they're going around in Europe in, they are looking for other acts to incorporate into their circus. So there's several scenes with different acts that are featured, but the main and best one is the Berlin Circus Act, which is genuinely quite funny. So on the whole, a decent enough effort. Not one that I've heard of before Screenbound announced that it was getting a release, but yeah, one that is well worth seeing and gets a solid 3.5 out of 5. Now, there's not much else to this. No reversible sleeve artwork, no booklet, no poster, no art cards or anything like that. Like I said, Screenbound generally don't do much in the way of limited edition extras, but there are a couple of extras in terms of the actual disc itself. You got Legend of the Lost promo and the Horse Soldiers promo as well. So, I think they are two other films. In fact, I think the Horse Soldiers is the one I've actually seen. And yeah, in terms of the disc itself, the film has it's in the widescreen 2.20 to 1 aspect ratio. It's in colour. There are English subtitles as well as French, German, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese. So if you speak any of those languages, then you're not going to be outdone by the English language format. And yeah, in terms of the transfer, looks fairly decent, to be honest. It's not a film that has aged the best in terms of the rear screen protection, which is really, really obvious at times when it switches to it. But the quality of the Blu-ray itself is fairly solid. That's had much in the way of restoration work, but then again, it doesn't look half bad either. And the sound quality is pretty good as well. So, yeah, on the whole, a solid film and a decent release from Screenbound, who, like I said, don't release a huge amount. They are quite a lower ranking kind of boutique label, but hopefully one day they might start to put out more special releases. But nonetheless, found this to be an entertaining enough effort, a good Sunday afternoon film, quite frankly. So yeah, well worth seeing. Like I said, gets a 3.5, mainly due to the set pieces and the cast. Nonetheless, so if you have seen Circus World before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.